Hey, everybody. Welcome to the show. Today, we're going to talk about life, love, and the pursuit of happiness and what that means to us. So, in the Declaration of Independence, it gives us three examples of an unalienable rights. And those three examples are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. So I kind of take a little twist on that, and I add in my own flavor: life, love, and the pursuit of happiness.
Because we all know you love love.
I love love. So I wanted to talk a little bit this morning about life, love, and the pursuit of happiness, and what that means to us, and why I say it all the time. Because that's one of my, life, love, pursuit of happiness. I originally stole that from the Declaration of Independence. As we're learning about that in school, they give you those three examples of unalienable rights, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And I've always held on to those. I've always loved that: life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And as I got older, I realized, love is more important than a lot of people think. And I like to shine a spotlight on love every now and then. And I love love. So what does life, love, and the pursuit of happiness mean to you?
Well, when I think of the pursuit of happiness, I always think of the movie first. But
Sometimes.
ultimately, Will Smith's character is trying to make a better life for him and his son. Talking about the pursuit of happiness, I want my kids to be happy. I want them to have better than what I had.
Absolutely.
So that's my pursuit of happiness.
What makes you happy, though? So you're talking about your kids, and that's why I say it, is because a lot of people think of others first and not themselves. Life, love, and the pursuit of happiness. You always got to worry about yourself. And for me,
That's
life,
hard for me to do.
kinda, but not really.
Like it has been my whole life.
Well, maybe that's a character flaw. But life, love, and the pursuit of happiness, to me, I've always said it because the first two words, life and love, those are very important. Unalienable rights as lined out in the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution, of the U.S. Constitution. It lines out your basic right to live. You have a basic right, an unalienable right to live. Nobody can take that from you. Not even your government, which is kind of odd that they say that now. But and love is very important, because if we don't have love, what do we got? We don't got anything. I love, and I love spreading the word of love around, like it's a religion.
I could see you leaving, the little pamphlets about.
Yeah,
Do you love love?
absolutely. Absolutely. We should get some pamphlets to spread out all over the place, Love one another. But the pursuit of happiness ultimately means, what it means to me is finding your happy, finding your why, and staying there and pursuing that, pursuing what makes you happy, and for me, my happiness is most generally found right here in this house. The people I'm with, my kids, the four terrors. And I can actually say four little terrors right now, because they're all smaller than me. Not by much, but or the three older ones, they're just shorter than me. So,
Well, not for long.
yeah, I know. Darn it. That middle kid's shooting up he's almost 6 foot tall now. It's crazy.
If not already.
But anyway, the pursuit of happiness to me is just, not running that rat race. because the rat race, who does the rat race make happy? It doesn't make me happy.
Makes the man
It makes the
happy.
man happy. Yeah, you're right. I like, so in my day-to-day life, I pursue my happiness from the time I wake up till the time I go to bed. Sometimes it seems like it's evasive, like it runs from me. But at the end of the day, I always find something to be happy about, and that's what it's all about. Life, love, and the pursuit of happiness to me is just finding that why and sticking with it, finding you're happy. I lost sight of that a long time ago for a while. I didn't know what my happy was or where it was or where to find it. And, here in the last couple-ish months, I've kind of realized what it is that makes me happy. And it's the first two parts of that saying. It's the life and love. That's what makes me happy. Living life, having love, having love, and the pursuit of happiness. I mean, it's an all-encompassing kind of saying there, because you got the life aspect, you got the love aspect, then you got the pursuit of happiness. And I think that's what it means to me. And
I don't think about what makes me happy. I mean, I like, binge watching a TV show or something like that makes me happy. But
not in the moment,
like,
I
who
mean,
wants to-
it
who wants
makes you
to
happy in the
say
moment.
that
Yeah.
makes
But
them happy.
what about when you were a kid? When you were a young child, when you thought of life as an adult and what would make you happy, what were some of the things what were some of the career choices that you had when you were a kid that you wanted to do? That you grow up and you have dreams of what you're going to do,
And I thought I would go into law enforcement.
Really?
Yeah. Like it was a family thing. Like
I
had
wanted to
family
be an
members.
astronaut.
Like I even made a little book in kindergarten. I'm pretty sure my mom has it somewhere. I drew pictures of me being a police officer because my mom was a deputy, and I had myself in the brown uniform, and it was a whole big thing.
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna do.
Yeah, so my mom actually, she worked for the conservationist department when she was going to school. She wore the brown uniform and everything. What's it with Missouri and brown?
I know, it's awful.
I
think they're still brown.
it's
A little more flattering.
It's
colors
like
of brown,
25
but-
years later, but
Yeah. And then, when I got into high school and I got scholarships, I was going to go be a parole officer. So still law enforcement. Like that's what I want to do. I wanted to be a parole officer or probation, whatever you call it. I'm so glad I didn't do that.
me too, because you make more money currently than you would have at the
and
top here.
I'm pretty sure that would be more of a headache than what I deal with now.
Oh, yeah, but it would be more fun.
Yeah.
Law enforcement, I bet, is more fun than your job.
Oh, I'm sure.
I mean, it's never boring. Especially not in this place. We talk about like local happenings and what happens here an awful lot, but boy, this place, it's never quiet here. I say that it's never quiet here. Obviously, when the lights go down, it's kind of quiet, but it's not like the city that never sleeps, but there are, the population in this town that never sleep.
Yeah.
And-
I mean, we have that whole like scanner
Like,
crime
okay,
page.
Metheny.
Yeah. Metheny. I think Metheny's the one that's on Frederick that everybody talks
Oh,
about
goodness.
that's walking down Frederick naked.
What's going on? This place. Well, anyway, back to what we were saying. Life, love, and the pursuit of happiness. That's what makes them happy, right?
Yeah.
Crackheads got to be cracking.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I just wanted to, like, life, love, pursuit of happiness. I say that all the time, and I don't think anybody really understands what I mean when I say that. So I just kind of wanted to outline what it means to me, what it means to you, what it should mean to all of you guys out there in the real world.
Well, and I think a lot of people, like, I don't know if I did when I was little, but people think like, oh, when I get older, I want that white picket fence. Like
Yeah,
that makes me
yeah,
happy.
I-
I don't want no white picket fence.
I think you said you wanted the
No.
polyester curtains in the redwood deck.
Yeah. Double wide trailer.
Well, you did a little better than a double wide, but not much.
I don't even have any curtains. We just got blinds.
I think a double wide would be bigger than this house, honestly. I think it'd be like 1,200 square feet or something like that. That's
probably have an
bigger.
additional bathroom.
For sure. Maybe 3.
Maybe. Plenty of curtains. For,
That should be your pursuit of happiness. I got to get another bathroom.
Yeah.
These boys are killing me.
They are killing me.
So when I think of pursuit of happiness, and I do think of that, you know, what brings me happiness and joy, and where can I find that? And I think about that because, you know, sometimes I am having a bad day, or you're having a bad day. And I kind of have to remind myself of our current situation, how we're doing, and how it could be worse. You know, it could always be worse. And I try to look on the positive side of things, because if I don't, you know, it might take its toll on me, and I might start thinking in a backwards direction. I might start thinking like, instead of like the pursuit of happiness, I'd be just moving my wheels and not going anywhere. And I don't want to do that. And so I try to remind myself all the time what it's really about, what I'm really doing this for. And with somebody that really helped me out, I'm going to have him guest in a little bit, you know, is my brother. One person that really helped me out with that was my brother when I was trying to get this whole thing started, and remember why I'm doing this. Cause I wanted to quit, guys. I really did. I wanted to, there was a few spots in the last 3 years that I wanted to quit all this and not even get started, because it was so frustrating. Some of the roadblocks that I'd come across, it was like, well, I'm just waiting on $30, and $30 would stop me for 2 weeks. And then there'd be something else that's stopping me from doing the things that I want to do, or accomplishing the things that I want to accomplish. And I used to kind of, there for a minute, I was kind of blaming other people. Like I was saying, well, I'm not at this place because this person won't help me. And my brother calmly said to me, as I was freaking out, he said, bro, the only one stopping you is you. And I took that, and I was like, you know
Right.
what? You know what? Damn it, you're right. The only one stopping me is me. I can do this. Let's get this thing going. A few weeks later, we had it up and running. And here we are. You know, this is our 10th episode, Ashley. You know, we started this thing a month and a half ago, and at that time, we weren't even able to do this right here.
Yeah.
And I think it's great how much we've grown and everything. And that's my pursuit of happiness. This stuff is making me happy, and that's why I'm doing it. You know, a lot of people are like, oh, that's so stressful, I wouldn't be able to do it, you know? And for me, this is almost like, in the last couple months, this is almost like my escape, my pursuit of happiness. And I'm pursuing this, and we're going for it, and we're doing it. And I don't really care if it ever makes any money, for real, because this is a cool hobby.
Yeah.
But you know that
I mean, if anything, it may help you get into radio or something. You got to put pretty good radio voice.
radio. Oh.
You know, Sully wants us to buy that.
I got a face made for radio.
Sully wants us to buy that radio station down the street. He's like, it'd be perfect for Dad.
I thought that would be so cool too. It's not got a whole lot of power to it, and that's what I was telling Sully. I said, honestly, I think doing radio might be kind of neat, but that tower doesn't have a whole lot of power, so we'd have to buy it. And I think
And then that would make us unhappy.
the building's affordable, though. You know, speaking of radio towers in Alabama, you know, I was reading an article the other day. Somebody stole a 200-foot tall radio tower in Alabama, and I just out of the blue, I thought of that because we're talking about radio towers, radio stations, and the building down the street, you know. And you know, that back to what you think the pursuit of happiness is. Now that I've kind of given you an outline of what my pursuit of happiness is, and life, love, and pursuit of happiness, what it means to me, has anything changed in the last 5 minutes?
I mean, I don't know. Like, pursuit of happiness. You know, I always think, like, I would love to wake up every day and not have any worries about anything. Like, I don't want to worry about, like, money this month, or if the car is going to break down, or if the kids are going to do good at school.
Yeah, but if you
Like,
didn't have to worry about any of that stuff, you'd have other things to worry about. And wouldn't you rather worry about the small, simple things
like I want to worry, like, did the cat chew through a wire?
no, because if the
somewhere.
cat chewed through a wire, he's
Or-
probably not alive.
You know, did I dry those pair of pants?
Yeah.
You know, that's the things I want to worry about.
That's fun. That oddly enough, I think sometimes those are the problems you worry about,
I mean,
because
like,
it seems like
sometimes
all
I'm
the
pretty complacent.
yeah. I think we can all be that way, but you know, at the end of the day, I think maybe you lost your why. Why are you doing this? And you know,
I think it's all those years I had to go to school.
you
what
want
I
to talk about that? You want to talk about what it was like going to school and pursuing your happiness in your career?
And then,
Because I bet that, like, how long did you go to school?
okay.
So
I went
your
to
college,
school
we're talking about college.
a long time. I mean, like, altogether, I went probably 8.5 years
Wow.
with-
That's crazy. I bet
with
you
going and then stopping and then going back again and stopping and then
I bet that
going
drove
and-
your husband nuts. Oh, wait a minute.
Let's
I'm
ask
your
him.
husband.
But, you know, like, I went a semester, like, shortly after I got out of high school. And then I stopped and I moved back home. And then right after Sully was born, I went back and thought, you know, I had this career planned out and that's what I wanted to do. And then I got frustrated and
Didn't you
stopped.
change your major at that point? You changed your
I
major at that
stopped
point.
and I took, I think, a year off from school. And then I changed my degree and went back and then changed it again. And then I finally finished. It took me almost 7 years to complete my bachelor's degree.
But you did it. And I'm so freaking proud of you.
and I
for-
think, like, that did make me happy.
Yeah, I'm so proud
So-
of you for the things that you've done, the things you've accomplished, and how far you've gone to pursue your happiness. I think that's what it's all about. You know, you went and you saw something that you wanted and you're like, okay, well, to get there, I know that I'm going to need this piece of paper from this place telling me that I'm smart. And you went after it and you got it. And I'm very, you know, that's my life, love, and pursuit of happiness. I want everybody around me to be happy and love life and love themselves and love other people, you know, and I want everyone, you know, from 8 months old to 80, I want everybody to go out there and pursue what makes them happy. You know, we don't want a bunch of grumpy ass old folks out there just, oh, I wish I'd have done this when I was younger. You know, like we don't want to have any regrets,
Yeah.
you know? And so if you find something that makes you happy, provided, you know, as long as it's legal, you know, go for it. You know,
You know, I never thought, like, growing up, like, I would ever go to Disney World. I thought, no, that's, like, unimaginable.
now as an adult, I can't imagine going back.
Right.
You know?
Now I'm like, oh, that wasn't as great as I thought it was going to be.
It was fun, but it was hot. I think if it wasn't so hot, I probably would have cried a little bit more, you know, because it's one of those dreams that everybody wants to go to Disney World.
Yeah. Or maybe it's because we drove straight through and then we slept in the parking lot in the car.
In the mountains. You remember when, was
Well,
that on the
then
way
when-
back?
Yeah. Well, then when we got to Disney World, remember, we weren't ready to check in, so we slept in the parking lot.
Oh yeah. I don't remember that part.
It wasn't very long, but
I remember, yes, I do remember, because we got there at like 7 a.m. and the park didn't open till like 9.
yeah.
I remember that.
But then I think we went in early and they were able to get us in early.
So I think I lost sight of what makes me happy, you know, in my 20s, because I was running that rat race. And you remember I was never home. I was always working. I was always on the road. And even when I was home, it's still like sun up to sundown kind of work. And when I go to work, I had the type of job that I could be free with my cell phone and call or text. And so I did that. We talked throughout the day and everything, and that was fun. But, at the end of the day, I was still gone. I was still away from home. And I did okay for the first couple of years out on the road, but then it was like I would get homesick before I left home. And it was like Sunday night, getting ready for Monday morning. It was terrible. It sucked. I hated doing that. I didn't hate the job. I loved my job. I loved the people I worked with. My brother-in-law was my boss, and we were good friends at the time. And the guy that owned the company, him and I were, we weren't best friends or anything, but we were friendly. He's a good guy. I learned a lot from him as far as business goes. He taught me a lot. The guy's brilliant. I mean, he runs $1 million operation, several like multi-million-dollar operation. And he started in his backyard with his dad. So that's pretty awesome.
I'm like, we're just starting in our garage.
Yeah, hey, it is what it is, right? I mean, at least we're doing something, and that's what it is. That's the pursuit of happiness for me, getting out there and going for it. I didn't know what the hell I wanted when I was in my 20s because I had to figure it all out. I didn't have anybody to when I was younger, in my younger life, when I was a kid, I didn't have anybody around to kind of mold me and shape me and push me in the direction that I wanted to go, but needed to go also. Like I am with Sully. I wish I could be a better father to Sully. I'm trying, certainly. But with his pursuit of happiness, when he gets a wild hair up his butt and wants to try out something like the mouth harp, we didn't buy him a mouth harp, but he acquired one through a friend. And, but he wanted to try out the keyboards. We got him a keyboard. He wanted to try out the bass guitars. We got him a bass guitar. He's great player. With the keyboard, he doesn't even know how to play it. And you hear music in there and you go in there and you're like, how did you learn that? And he was like, just listening. And he can replicate sounds.
You can listen to that, but you can't listen to us.
Right. Right. So we push him in the general direction that he wants to go. If he's interested in something, we kind of give him a little nudge in that direction and tell him supportive things, not, oh, that's silly, or don't do that. That's a waste of time. Like learning how to play instruments. I don't know how to play a single instrument. I tried to play the guitar when I was little, and I sucked at it and never picked it up again. And now I kind of regret it and I'm never too old to learn.
Yeah.
But I just don't have time at the moment. But
I know. That's what I think about is, I wanted Sully, I thought it was really cool that Sully wanted to play a stringed instrument when he learned to play the viola, because I didn't have that opportunity.
I was very shocked that he wanted to learn how to play the viola.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the hell is a viola?
Yeah, I didn't even know. And he's like, it's a bigger violin.
That's exactly how he explained it to me.
Yeah, but I didn't have the opportunity to play strings, not only because my parents really couldn't afford a stringed instrument, but then also at school, they didn't have orchestra. We just had band, so I learned to play the clarinet.
Oh yeah, you grew up in a small town and went to a small county school, and so they didn't have a whole lot of string instruments.
No.
And did they have percussion? Because he's interested in learning the drums.
Yeah.
Sooner or later he's going to have a one-man band in his bedroom.
I literally told somebody that yesterday because a guy at work that gave him the banjo.
Yeah.
Said, so how's Sully doing on his one-man band? And I said, well, he could literally have a one-man band because now he has a mouth harp.
And he knows how to use it. It's weird.
I said, he just needs a drum and he'll be good to go.
Absolutely. And well, I watch a fella out, and he travels. He's a busker. I watch a guy on YouTube called Button the Busker, and
He's so good.
he is. He puts me in a great mood anytime I watch him, and he's got these little short videos where he's one man banding it, and he's out on the road, and for people like us just to watch on the side of the, when you're shopping or whatever. But he has a kick drum, and he sits on a
I think it's an
a
amp
suitcase.
or-
No,
oh,
he sits
yeah.
on a suitcase, and he's got a kick drum in front of him, and then he's got a harmonica in his mouth, and he's got his acoustic guitar, and he sings. So it's literally one man band, and he puts me in a great mood every time I see him because he's so funny and charismatic, and he does this. He dresses up in silver. You ever seen those silver actors?
Yeah.
And so he dresses up in that silver, and he's got a whole like mime act. It's great.
I haven't
And
seen those ones.
Button the Busker is his name. Check him out on YouTube because he'll put you in a great mood too. But
He's pursuing his happiness.
absolutely, he wanted to go out to San Francisco and be a busker in San Francisco, be a street performer. And so, you know what he did? He went.
Oh, I was
He
gonna say,
went
did he
to San
skip San
Francisco.
Francisco and go somewhere else?
I don't know if he's still in San Francisco. I see videos every now and then of him being in San Francisco. And the only reason I know it's San Francisco is because San Francisco is a very unique place. It's a whole different. I love San Francisco. I wish they cleaned that place up because I want to go back. I really, really want to go back. I'd like to take you out there and show you San Francisco, and I bet you'd find your happiness there.
With some rice-a-roni.
Rice-a-roni, sourdough
No,
bread.
I was
man.
gonna say no. The sourdough bread bears would make me happy.
I'm telling you what, out on Fisherman's Wharf, I forget the name of the place, but it's a sourdough bakery, and my goodness, it's so good. That's one of those things that San Francisco's famous for, sourdough, and Fisherman's Wharf. So
Yeah, that would make me happy if I just make bread all day.
I bet that would
Even though I can't,
it'd make the house smell happy.
even though I can't eat a lot of bread, like just the art of making bread.
And the smell.
I love watching videos of people making bread.
I love watching videos. But you pursuing your happiness. And so when you graduated from college, didn't you graduate mid-semester?
No.
Oh, no, it was the end. It was the end of the
Yeah.
semester.
Because I had to complete
Mayish.
my,
Not your dissertation. You're not a doctor.
no, I ain't got time for that. I can't remember what it's called, but it's like your end project of your degree that you have to do.
Well,
It tells
I
you
don't-
how much I enjoyed it because I don't remember the name of it. Good thing I was in there with some smart kids.
Yeah. They raised the curve a little bit.
Yeah. Like one of the kids in my group for that project.
Was the curve?
No, he actually won the entrepreneur ship
Oh,
competition
cool.
and got
Yeah.
a business.
So at the university you went to, there was you were in a business program, and that's what you were pursuing was your business degree. Business, what do they call that? BA?
Yeah, it's a bachelor's of business administration.
Yeah. So you got your BA in business, and so when you were in that program, they had special scholarships that they give out to a couple people per year.
Yeah, you had to do like a competition. Basically, it was an entrepreneur program.
Yeah.
Is what it was. And it was like a class basically to teach entrepreneurship. But if you wanted to take part in the competition, then you could potentially win a business.
And so when you say you win a business, they would essentially just give you a scholarship to help fund your business idea?
Well, kind of. Like it was like, oh, you can do, like you had the choice of these 3 types of businesses
Right. Okay.
owned by
owned by the school.
Yeah.
And you're a partial partner.
Yeah. Yep.
So I'll tell you what that is, like essentially a think tank, you know. And so if you ever wanted to operate a think tank, what you would do is basically you would rent out a giant building to any people who had an idea that you liked, and you'd finance them. And you would be like, okay, so part of this deal is I'm going to give you money to pursue your dream, but you're going to give me money, and that's my dream.
Yeah.
And so essentially a think tank is, okay, we got a bunch of people in here. We're financing everybody. We're going to do lots of fundraising and stuff like that, gets you some capital, and we'll get your business going. But here's the thing. I want a chunk of that business when you're done.
Yeah. Because like, I think like within like 3 to 5 years, like it would be yours or whatever.
That's cool. I love
I mean,
that.
if you're good at running the business, that is.
And that
you're
business
profitable.
school was part of the school before it was a university, correct?
Yeah.
It was it's essentially a business school in a university.
Yeah.
So that's pretty neat. So what made you switch your major from what it was? I don't remember what it was. It was something like coding or something. It was weird.
So I first started out with, like medical coding or something.
Yeah, you were like,
was
this is the next big
ridiculous.
thing. And I'm like, that's what they tell you to get your money.
Yeah. And then when I went back, I thought, oh, well, I'll go with a physical therapist. Like, I didn't want to do a physical therapy assistant. I want to do a physical therapist. I wanted to get my doctorate in physical therapy.
Really?
Yeah. And then like,
I don't remember any of that.
yeah, remember I went to Job Shadow, and then I came home after the Job Shadow, and I was like, no, I can't do this.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm glad you decided not to go that route, because you'd probably still be in school.
yeah, I was like, no, that's not for me. And then I got to thinking, and I was like, man, I don't want to spend all this money for something I'm going to be siloed in.
Yeah.
And so I changed to business because it could go over.
It's kind of like a blanket
areas.
degree. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I kind of got that when you were going through and trying to pick majors and find where you fit. I kind of got that you wanted a certain direction that you wanted your career to go in, but you didn't really have a blanket type degree that you wanted to go after. And so I remember having a conversation with you, and you were like, I need to switch up my major to something that's more all-encompassing of what I want to do. And and at that time I told you, hey, you should go to business school, because business management, is one of those blanket degrees, and you get your degree in business management, and then you get concentrations, and you get areas of study and focus. Mm-hmm. And so you went the human resources direction.
Yeah. I love people.
Kinda.
So,
Kinda.
I mean, yeah. But
You don't love people the way I love love.
right. Well, I guess I like interacting with people. Maybe that's more it.
I think you
but,
like helping people.
Yeah. But like I always think of that saying is, if you do something that makes you happy, you'll never work a day in your life. And so like,
That's not necessarily true. You're still working. You're just liking it.
I know, but you like what you do. And like, so I thought about that when I went into the program for physical therapy. And I thought, this is not going to make me, like, if I have to come and do this every day, I'm going to get so tired of it.
Yeah.
So
It was kind of like when I was thinking about being a trash man.
I'm going to get tired of smelling like trash every day.
Yeah, pays great, but at the end of the day, you smell like a garbage can.
Yeah.
Which the pay's not that great anymore. It's pretty much stayed the same over the last 10 years. It's kind of crazy with the inflation going up the way it was. But my garbage guys are great.
They are great.
They put the lid back on the can.
And then they roll it back up to your house.
Yeah, that's their slogan. We put the lid back on the can. But anyway, when you were going after your degree and your concentration for business and stuff, and you settled on the human resources, and you were like, I like people and I love helping people, and I like my job. And so that's where we were going, in the direction you wanted to find your happiness and you wanted to pursue it. And I think a lot of people get caught up in, I need money to pay the bills. I think a lot of people do that. I think they go work at a job that they hate for years and years and years because they feel like they don't have any other options. Mm-hmm. And I'm not built like that. I would, about 14 years ago, we needed a dining room table. We didn't have a table. And so we had many offers to have just these cheap, just broken, hand-me-down stuff tables. And I told you at that time, I was like, I'm kind of tired of buying junk. I'd like to just save our money and just not have a table until we can afford to have the one we want. And a couple months later, we found we got an opportunity to buy a really expensive table for not a lot of money. And so we took that. And then we still have that table. We still have those chairs. That was 14 years ago, And I think of things like that. And that's why I am the way I am. I'd much rather save it and not have a tiny dining room table until I can buy what I want.
What you want, yeah. Well, it's just like furniture. Remember, we had that whole conversation about we are too old to have mismatched furniture or hand-me-down furniture.
And we got a whole set of matching furniture for like $700.
Yeah, that was during COVID. Remember?
I think it's the same prices now. It's maybe gone up a couple $100. I mean, it's built in Bangladesh, not China.
And so, I mean,
no, I'm kidding. It's probably built in China.
I mean, that was, happiness when we bought matching furniture, and then I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to buy a matching washer and dryer, like,
and we did.
I was like, I'm happy. Cause like I've never had, for one, I've never had a set that I didn't rent, like, or get given to me, like, cause somebody got a new one.
Bought this stuff with cash.
I'm like, I bought this new one and it made me happy. Cause I was like, I'm a real life grown up now. I have matching furniture and I have a matching washer and dryer. And
you didn't think that when you were in the hospital having kids? You didn't think, I'm a real life grown up now?
No, because they were just like, here you go.
Don't kill it.
Yeah.
I feel like they really do that at the hospital, when they give you your kids and send you home, they're like, here, don't kill it.
I mean, when I took Sully home, they didn't even know how to operate. I didn't know how to operate his car seat, neither did they.
There was 3 of us.
And they just packed
out there
it full of
trying
blankets.
to figure out how to put this car seat in.
I mean,
and then they hollered at another person, so there was four of us trying to connect this little carrier car seat, and we couldn't figure it out. So they let us leave the hospital with our baby in a carrier that really was unsafe.
Yeah, like they just like were like, oh, we can't figure out how to tighten the straps, and so like they just packed it full of.
And I think
blankets.
I remember, I don't know what I'm going to do because this is our only car seat and I don't have any help. And blah, I should have just called my mom at that point. But it is what it is.
Or your sister.
Or anyone.
Yeah.
Anyone. Highway patrol.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, the highway patrol, not the fire department.
So if you go out there to the highway patrol, they'll actually install your stuff for you if you can't get your car seat in correctly. Or if you don't know how to install it correctly, just go up to the highway patrol, your local highway patrol, and they'll help you out. They'll show you exactly how to install it properly. And, because those carrier bases are kind of funny. And they have these leveling things on them that you got to make sure they're in the right spot and everything. And so if you don't know how to do all that, just go to your highway patrol and they'll help you out.
There's some nice people. Highway patrol are some nice. people.
Well, our highway patrol, anyway. Did you know California Highway Patrol is among the most trained law enforcement in the country?
Well, I mean, they probably deal with a lot.
Yeah, they got to deal with a lot of people. Of happiness. We're talking about going to college, and that was not for me. I couldn't have done it. Like you were like, I remember you trying to get me to help you with your stuff because you're like, you're smart. You come help me. And I was like, okay. And then you were talking to me and I'm like, what are you saying? I can't. I started reading and then I go cross-eyed because I don't understand what I don't even know what's going on right now.
Well, I think it was like statistics class, and I was like, oh yeah, like Ricky's a numbers person. Like,
I don't think of things in terms of like that. I come up with like real world situations where I need, with numbers and statistics, I would only remember things that were relevant to me, like statistical things that like how do you even take a class on statistics? Because at that point it's just like numbers.
Well, and it's like, probability and that sort of thing and statistics. So
All,
it's not
all
like
that stuff just
nothing
comes
for
natural
sure.
to me. So reading a book on it was just like, what is this? Because I don't think in terms of other people, or I think you were doing supply chain at that time, and I don't need a supply chain. Like the world, the globalization, we're having a lot of trouble right now with supply chains and globalization and getting your crap when you want it. And if I was a corporation owner or somebody that needed a supply line, I'd get a supply wherever I could. I wouldn't sign any contracts.
Like silo yourself
Yeah.
to one. Yeah.
And I think that's what happened during COVID with all the people and not getting things in. It wasn't that it wasn't available. It was they didn't want to pay the price to buy it from someone else because their distributor didn't have it.
Yeah.
And so we had an issue that we were running out of some product that we use all the time. And I was like, hey, step outside that supply chain if you have to. I was like, you get it here, and I don't care what it costs. Get it here. And that's how we are. That's how most people are here in the United States, and that's why things are changing back to the way they were before NAFTA. When we started this show, we were talking about my pursuit of happiness and what it means to me and life and love. And I think the life and love part are pretty, it's a given. What those two things mean. Life, obviously, biology, living, breath. Love, pretty self-explanatory there. But the pursuit of happiness, I think people get stuck. What does the pursuit of happiness mean, in this rat race? And I don't think in terms of like money and gotta chase that dollar. I'm all about chasing what makes me happy because I don't. We're all going to die and be in the same hole at the end of the, not obviously not in the same hole, but we're going to be in the same kind of hole at the end of the day and at the end of our lives. So none of that stuff matters in the grand scheme of things. What really matters is the impression that you leave behind when you go and your happiness, your personal happiness. And I believe if you look out for your personal happiness, you can make everybody around you more happy because I really truly believe that our happiness is all tied in together, and that's why I kind of put on a fake smile sometimes when I go out in public and am overly nice sometimes. And people ask me, how are you doing? I'm like, wow, wonderful. Even if it's a lie, because saying things like that and behaving that way kind of lifts you up in a way.
You know what I hate? Like if somebody asks you like, how are you doing today? And then they're like, oh, I'm here.
Yeah, or
Obviously.
pretty crappy. Not doing
I'm
well.
here.
Well, nobody wants to hear that. Nobody wants to, if somebody asks you how you're doing and you're not doing too well, if you're in a setting where you have time to outline why you're not doing so well, maybe those people can help you out. But if you're casually passing by somebody on the road that you don't know and they're like, hey, how are you? You don't say, shitty, Bill. You
Well,
know?
and sometimes I'm guilty. I'm one of those people that like it's just like something you say, but then sometimes I'm not expecting somebody to start it, and I'm like, oh god, why did I even ask? Like, why didn't I just keep walking? Like,
And that's when I interject and say, listen, I was just trying to be nice. I don't really care.
or like
But
walk
go on.
backwards.
Yeah.
It's not that I don't care. It's just like I don't have time. Like usually I'm like going somewhere and doing something, and so yeah, I'm like, oh, you
I
wanted
do
a
that
conversation?
sometimes.
Sorry.
I do that sometimes with you. When I ask if you want help in the kitchen,
Oh, I
and
know.
then you actually say yes, and then I'm like, ah, shit, I wasn't expecting you to say yes, but I was just offering help. And then
Yeah.
you're like, well, you can do this if you want. And then
You're
I'm like, I
want
don't really
to."
want to. I was just trying to be nice, but I will. I think that throws people off guard when I'm honest like that. Oh man, I really didn't want to help. I was just saying some stuff. you know?
Yeah.
I think that's people love that when I do that too, and I don't know why, because I'm really not trying to be funny. It's just, oh, I really didn't want to help, but I'm going to, because I offered. But I'm just telling you, next time when I offer stuff, don't take it seriously. But so there's those things that we do, and it's funny. But anyway, I think people lose sight of that. Searching and for your why and finding it, and then keeping it and pursuing your happiness. And I want to just kind of tell people or share with people my experiences, and this podcast is going to go all over the place with subjects, and if you're not into that, you might
Just
move
skip
on,
us.
but like, subscribe, and share, because we're going to give some real life stories, and our pursuit of happiness, or my pursuit of happiness, is right here with you guys. And we're going to keep doing this stuff. I love the hanging out in the morning. But we have a mascot, ladies and gentlemen. Like, not really a mascot. We got a house cat for ourselves. And I was telling Ashley when we decided to get a kitty, I think it would be good for me, because I'm always home dealing with stressful situations, and I think having a little fur ball around to kind of ease the stress sometimes.
Cats are so calming.
Oh, yeah, and
Too. Something like that.
Yeah, whatever. But
I think it's a good distraction for everybody. In
oh
the
yeah.
house.
Since we've gotten the kitty, Rocket has been entertained endlessly.
Yeah.
He and the cat play together all day long.
But the poor cat.
I know.
Sometimes I think the cat's just like, yep, I've been here 5 days. I've had enough.
Yeah, but he loves to come out and play with Rocket. If he didn't like Rocket, he wouldn't do those things. And they do spend, it's funny. You'll have to watch it this weekend. They spend all day together, and they chase each other around the house. Rocket does it to Rocket does it to Dexter, and Dexter does it to Rocket. And it's fun. It's funny.
Yeah.
And that's pursuit of happiness right there. Pursue what makes you happy. And if something pisses you off, don't chase that down. Just leave it alone. Social media is really terrible about doing that. If you find a post that you don't agree with, just don't comment on it, because the algorithm is going to suck you in.
Well, and I don't even do that anymore, because I'm just like,
Because then the
man.
algorithm the algorithm on Facebook, I can't speak for X, because I don't know a whole lot about X, because I'm not on Twitter. We got the business page on Twitter, but that's it. Algorithm works on Facebook is it will suggest to you like things that you interact with. So if you're interacting with this one thing, the next time you get on Facebook, Facebook wants to show you more things like you interacted with. So if you're doing nothing but sitting there interacting with things that make you unhappy or angry or upset, the next time you get on Facebook, that's what it's going to show you, is things that upset you and don't make you happy. So if you interact with things or like things that make you happy and watch videos that make you happy, the next time you get on Facebook, it's going to show you shit that makes you happy.
Yeah.
You know, and took me a minute to understand that. I still see things every now and then that are like, oh, I want to argue about that, you know, or that makes me think bad things. Every now and then I run across those things, but I just don't engage, because if you don't engage, it's less likely to show you that shit the next time.
Yeah. Well, like my thing is I just go past it, because the amount of
Craziness,
people
the amount of craziness
that are just like keyboard warriors, like, just irritate me.
I think
so much.
if they looked at each other face to face, they would say
Right.
those things to each other.
Right.
If they could just look at each other and be like, oh, that's a person, you know, they're a person just like me, they wouldn't do those things.
Yeah.
But ladies and gentlemen, stop interacting with stuff that pisses you off, because it's just going to show you more. And that's how algorithms work, is the more you engage with something, the more it's going to show you things just like that. You know, so if you're interacting with something, let's just say a kitty video, you know, you like kitty videos and you're just watching kitty videos all day. The next time you get on YouTube, it's going to show you a kitty video.
I keep getting like suggestions for Maine Coon
I keep
videos
getting
or
coffee
reels,
suggestions.
or Taylor Swift, or Travis Kelce, or
Speaking
Mahomes.
of, hey, the Super Bowl is this weekend. Go Chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be so awesome. I can't wait. We got a guest coming in studio today, this afternoon. We're going to record that as my brother, and we're going to talk about some things made in America. We were talking about supply chain in this conversation, and
I like supply chain. I should have pursued that.
something that pisses me off is supply chain and made in America, and how it doesn't mean shit anymore. And I'm tired of buying junk. I really am. I'm tired of buying junk. It's not made
So if
correctly.
you're tired of buying junk and something that's not made in America, then tune in this week.
Yeah, tune in, because we're going to talk about it, and it's actually probably going to be a running theme for a long time. You know, bringing that manufacturing back to the States, so we don't have to have a supply chain that's half a world long. And I think that's the biggest problem, is the things that we need to be made close. That way we can have them. And our cheap trinkets, who the hell needs a bunch of cheap trinkets? Stop buying that stuff. That don't bring you happiness. And don't even bring the poor, 5-year-old in Bangladesh happiness that made it. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm tired. I think we're going to wrap this up here. I wanted to talk about life, love, pursuit of happiness. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness is outlined in the Declaration of Independence.
And liberty and justice for all.
Hey, that's not the Declaration of Independence. That's the that's
Like I said, I'm just a bill, and I'm sitting here on Capitol Hill.
we weren't supposed. This wasn't supposed to get into politics or anything like that.
Anyway.
We're talking about life, love, and the pursuit of happiness.
But
and
what was that show called? The School of Rock? No.
No, that was the hell was that? Damn, I don't even remember. Schoolhouse
It's
Rock.
Rock.
Schoolhouse
Schoolhouse
Rock. That's
Rock,
what it was on PBS, Public
That
Broadcasting
made me happy
Station.
as a kid. Okay.
I tell you what made me happy when I was a kid. Sesame Street. I loved Sesame Street.
Oh, yeah. I had a giant Big Bird.
Hey, we're
Like, it
supposed
was
to be
like-
wrapping
okay.
this up. Did you had a giant Big Bird?
It was like 4
let's hear
foot tall.
about your giant. Did it
a
bring you
Yosemite
happiness?
Sam. A big
Really?
Yosemite Sam.
Now that's cool. We wanted to kind of share what life, love, and the pursuit of happiness, what it means to us. And I want you guys to think about that. What is it? What does life, love, and the pursuit of happiness mean to you? And think about the pursuit of happiness. Really think about that. What makes you happy? Pursue that. Because at the end of the day, this money and stuff that we go in and work in jobs that we hate, we go in and dealing with people that we don't like and we just angry all the damn time. You know, if we pursue our happiness a little bit more, a little bit, maybe a little bit longer every day. You know, if you only have a couple hours at the end of each day to pursue your happiness, take those couple hours and pursue your damn happiness. Because if you ain't happy, ain't nobody happy. So with that, we'll see you in a couple days.
Bye.
I don't understand how one misses the toilet so often.
Well, okay, this is what happened to me. 2 days ago? I had to go pee really bad and went in there, and then Rocket all of a sudden, he had to pee really bad. So what's he do? He pees in the bathtub because he can't wait for me to get done.
Yeah, well, you should have sent him outside. I would have.
So, yeah, that's just, I guess that's stuff. That's my life and
Your,
my happiness
your
and
love.
love.